Welcome to Bravo and Blaze with Jenny Blaze, covering all the latest Bravo quote-unquote news and the weekly Bravo TV lineup. Happy Friday, everyone. It's December 20th. Christmas is coming up. We are in the holiday season, and Bravo is giving us a lot this week. It's almost too much. I feel a little overwhelmed, but we're going to do our best to go through it today. As a disclaimer, I would like to remind everyone that this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. We are not here to intentionally harm anyone, and by no means use this platform as an avenue for bullying, and anything said is alleged. As always, please do not take anything I say as Bible. I am not a journalist, nor do I claim to be one. Nothing I say is fact-checked because, again, this is for entertainment purposes only. Be cool, not all like uncool. If you're joining us over on Instagram, please consider joining us on YouTube because we have a live interactive chat. And if you are not following us on social media, make sure you do so. We are at Bravo and Blaze on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch. And we are at Jenny Blaze on YouTube. Also, like I said, we are live. If you join us on YouTube, you can interact in our live chat where you can ask questions, give your own thoughts, interact with one another. I'll take breaks throughout to read through and share some comments. If you are a podcast listener, please note that we have visuals over here on YouTube for you to look at. The audio podcast is available wherever you get your podcast. To help support Bravo and Blaze, make sure you subscribe, follow, share, like, comment, and leave a 5-star rating. Ooh, that's a lot already. As a reminder, we have bonus content on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City on Patreon, where we can speak more freely in a safe and uncensored space. We tried, we tried our first live watch party on Monday, and we'll be covering this week's episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City on the next Patreon. So make sure to sign up at patreon.com/Bravo and Blaze. Let's move on to Bravo quote unquote news and pop culture news. The first thing that I just couldn't help but include in this, apparently, I have a visual here for those who are listening. This is from Mr. Pop on Twitter, and it says Justin Timberlake is going viral for a bit of a small problem, according to TMZ. While wearing a harness at his tour, fans noticed, or barely noticed, something between the harness area. Who knew? JT. Cry me a river. All right, I don't want to spend too much time on Justin Timberlake. Okay, next, Vanity Fair put out an article, and it's called The 24 Best Performances of 2024. Their little caption says, from film to TV to Broadway to the hyper reality of one all-consuming press tour, here are the performers we couldn't keep our eyes off of in 2024. This list included Zendaya, Timothy Chalamet, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck. Who else was on it? It doesn't even matter because Miss Mary Cosby made the list. And I just wanted to read what they wrote about her. Excuse me. See, can I see that small? I can't. Okay. When Cosby was introduced on what has become the most consistent Housewives franchise, Bravo led with the fact that she married her step-grandfather at the dying request of her grandmother. Cosby was quick to note. A rocky few seasons followed. She delivered one-liners that were unpredictable and brutal, declaring that one fellow housewife smelled like hospital and that another looked inbred. She does. But by season 3, Cosby's mean girl shtick had grown too dark to feel delicious. After a much-needed timeout, she wisely distanced herself from her title as First Lady of a Pentecostal church and invested in some genuine friendships. When Cosby was brought back as a full-time cast member on the show's most recent season, it was a complete return to form. She's as quirky as ever. Her slinking in late and inadvertently into the center of Meredith's bar mitzvah is an all-time visual, but also completely vulnerable. Only Cosby could find a moment of levity in a powerful scene about her son Robert Jr.'s substance abuse problem. I think I love you more than Dad, she tells him with a tearful smile. Don't ever tell Dad I said that. It was the first time I thought of Cosby's husband all season, said this writer. Yay, Mary Cosby made it. Another one of our faves, Phaedra Parks from The Traitors, made it. You know I love The Traitors. That's my all-time favorite show. So good. This is what they wrote about Phaedra. Can you even imagine the look on the faces of this show's editors when they got to see Real Housewives of Atlanta star Phaedra Parks turn to dweeby Peter Weber and declare, "This is not The Bachelor, and I don't have to kiss your ass for a rose." Even the other contestants in the room, all reality stars in their own right, couldn't help but squeal with delight. Peacock took home an Emmy for season 2 of The Traitors, in large part thanks to Parks, who delivered viral moment after viral moment. One way to make the Emmys less boring, they are boring, would be to finally reward reality stars themselves. How fun would it be to see Parks accept an Emmy for Best Reality Television Performance in a competition show? Yo, reality TV is kind of taking over. I want to give a shout out to Ed Dub. What's up, girl? And Max. Good morning. TGIF. Yes, thank God. But also, this is like the beginning of the holidays for most parents. So buckle up, y'all. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, I'm going to get into Vanderpump Rules. All right, so I saw on Bravo and Cocktails, if you remember from last week, James has been arrested for domestic violence, and the police reports have come out, and apparently it said something along the lines of him body slamming his girlfriend. Please do not quote me. The articles are all out there. But I guess he denies the allegations. And according to this, I don't know exactly if this is from like People magazine, but Bravo and Cocktails posted this little clip that says, "We are in the process of conducting our own investigation into allegations levied by the Burbank Police Department against James," attorneys for Kennedy, 32, said in a Friday, December 13th statement. "We understand that there were no injuries, and we are hoping that after careful review, the city's attorneys will decide not to file formal charges." Whew, okay. After this was last Friday. Allie Luber, James's, I don't know if they're still boyfriend, girlfriend or whatever, but Taste of Reality posted Allie's Instagram story that said, "Thank you to everyone who has reached out with love and support and for checking in on me. I'm okay and taking the time I need right now. I deeply appreciate all the kindness and respect for my privacy during this time." That doesn't sound good. End up said, "The men of VP are all burned out." You know, it's like not good. So then Pumped Up Tea posted, this is from TMZ. The headline says, "Vanderpump Rules, James Kennedy moves girlfriend's belongings to car, ... spending time apart." There's a picture of James looking right at the camera, carrying stuff, and a picture of Allie carrying her stuff. Okay, and then in this article on TMZ, it says, "James Kennedy was spotted helping his longtime girlfriend, Allie Luber, load her personal items into her car just days after his arrest on misdemeanor domestic violence. Now, TMZ has learned the couple is currently spending time apart. In photos taken Sunday outside their San Fernando Valley home, James appeared somber as he helped Allie carry a laundry hamper, suitcase, and other belongings to her car. Sources close to the couple tell TMZ, despite the recent situation, James and Allie are still together romantically as of now. Allie, however, has temporarily relocated to an Airbnb nearby where she plans to stay with her family, who recently arrived in town to support her." Wow. This is not good. Jason and Donna Forever on Instagram wrote, "No injuries does not mean no DV." I agree with that. So next from Face Reality 16, apparently James posted in his Instagram stories and said, I am committed to making meaningful changes in my life. I am taking time to focus on my sobriety, personal growth, and being present for my loved ones. Navigating challenging moments is not easy, but I am determined to learn, grow, and move forward with the incredible support system around me. James. Okay, so wait, there's more. Okay, this is a lot. So from page 6 and Virtual Reality exclusive, it says Bravo investigated claim that James Kennedy was violent with women a year before his domestic violence arrest. This is a lot. Okay, so everything that I just went over starts from last Friday when we were live, and he has denied the allegations. Allie released a statement. Allie moves out temporarily, quote unquote. James releases his statement, but now they're also saying there's reports saying that Bravo was investigating him a year ago, and despite that, he was still working for them. There's a lot of people who are upset, saying this is very hypocritical of Bravo, because we have people like Kenya who got fired right away before the investigation. I don't know all the details on Kenya's situation, but I guess the thing that is making people upset is, if this was a known thing by Bravo, why didn't Bravo take any action to either letting James go or holding him accountable by law? And I love James Kennedy. This is very heartbreaking to see, but regardless of my love for James Kennedy, obviously I believe he should be held accountable, just as anybody should be held accountable despite who they are. And even though I think James should be held accountable, doesn't mean that I don't root for him, because I think James, we've all seen this with James. He has a lot of things that he hasn't sorted out in his life, and obviously drinking doesn't help. But this is like a pattern, and we need to, or not we need to, but he needs to do something about this, because this should be rock bottom for him. Apparently, he has also lost some of his DJ gigs, and I even saw something, I don't know if this is true, but I saw a post saying he lost an estimated 1.4 million in jobs already. Like, if this is not rock bottom, that scares me even more. This is not good. Max said, definitely remember Kristen and Stassi got fired right away. Yeah, see, so like, this is the thing that bothers me about Bravo and any network. And I talked about this with Peter Madrigal, actually. Go check out our interview. We had 2 interviews this year, but our latest one, I was talking about this with him because he has his own reality TV network now. And I was asking him, as an executive now, you're running your own network. Like, do you have guidelines or rules in place where there's like a 0 tolerance rule on like assault or battery? Even throwing a drink on someone is considered battery, which is against the law. And so in that case, like, I don't know, if I was running a network, I feel like the law should be the starting point, and then you adjust accordingly due to the nature of the things that we see happening, such as when housewives do crazy like cyber things. Like, didn't somebody find out that the bots who are attacking Garcelle's son turned out to be Rinna or something? Like, that kind of stuff, I feel like that's not like a legal issue, but for Bravo as a network, I feel like they should have some parameters in place to be like, this is not acceptable behavior and we are not going to allow this. And if we find that you are misbehaving, then we're going to let you go. Like, just have a zero tolerance rule. I don't understand why it has to change for everyone. That's what makes people upset, I feel like. Just make a hard rule and let us know what the rules are, because I want to know. Like, remember back in the day, in MTV days, Real World days, when David pulled the blanket off of Tammy and there was like a whole thing of like, I don't feel safe, like I was naked and la la la. And then Irene gets slapped by, what was that, Steven? That was assault. He got kicked off for that. But there's like all these like situations that happen that are like nuanced, and there needs to be some like there needs to be some kind of structure around it, I feel like, or else it's chaotic. And that's when things become toxic. I've been saying this for a long time, so I'm going to stop. Let's move on to the next toxic Vanderpump Rules person, or people, I should say. So this is from Bravo Buds. I guess Victoria Lee Robinson, who is Tom Sandoval's girlfriend, she posted in her Instagram stories, she wrote, "Wow, you guys were right. Tiger never changes its stripes. He loves the best friends, apparently. I feel like a fool, completely heartbroken." The caption that Bravo Buds wrote is Sandoval's girlfriend Victoria with a late night Insta post implying that Tom cheated with her best friend, ? Oh my gosh. I'm going to go through everything and then we'll talk about it a little bit, but this is nuts. Okay. So after this, after Victoria, aka Vicky, posts this in her Instagram stories, Tom Sandoval goes live on Instagram. Hold up, let me see. So Vanderpod recaps and One Night with Bravo caught clips of his IG live. And in the first one on Vanderpod recaps, he's like, Victoria's calling me. She definitely made a big mistake earlier. Like, what? And then the second one from One Night with Bravo, he's just like rambling, not really telling the story. He like basically told us nothing. But then, this is from Taste of Reality. Victoria Lee Robinson, Vicky, posted on her Instagram story saying, "I would like to sincerely apologize for my previous post. I had a true misjudgment in a situation. Tom did not do anything. From my own personal trauma and experiences, hearing false accusations about him all the time clouded my judgment and got the best of me. Please respect him and know he's actually been the most supportive partner. The internet can be harsh sometimes, and I'm learning how to block out the noise." What? Girl. Max said, "Damn, Vicky, publicity stunt." And he also said, "I feel the women get burned, but not the men on Bravo." Yeah, for real. So this is wild. And we heard about this, right? From Billy Lee when they had their falling out. Billy Lee was saying that Tom and Victoria are very childish, especially when it comes to social media. Like, they use social media, like when they're fighting, they'll unfollow, then follow. And we've seen this. So all through Scandival, I was one of the loudest Tom Sandoval haters during Scandival, and he never blocked me. He didn't even block me until more than a year later after Scandival. And it was the same night that Victoria blocked me. I don't know what happened between them, but like, nothing even happened on my end or in the Bravo world. Like, just all of a sudden one day I noticed that they both blocked me, but then she unblocked me. And so I'm now unblocked by Victoria, but Sandoval still has me blocked. And I think that's so bizarre, isn't it? So when I saw all this happening, I'm like, they're doing they're doing it again. They're using social media to like fight with each other. I think I can just see, this is like all in my fan fiction head. I'm like picturing them arguing over something. Victoria being like, "You're an asshole. Blah, I knew it." And then her like posting on Instagram as a way to trigger him to be like, "This is how mad I am." And then he decides to go on Instagram Live, I think, as a way to like passive aggressively threaten her. Like, if you don't retract, then I'm going to tell all or something. I don't know. It was just like, it felt very strange. Like, I felt like I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? People are not fooling anyone. Am I the only one who can see this? Oh my God. These two are toxic. I really hope, I don't wish anyone ill will. So I hope that these two find peace and happiness, whether that's together or not. I'm guessing it's not together, but we'll see. All right, let's move on. Enough with Vanderpump Rules, but as another reminder, go check out my interview with Peter Madrigal. Okay, I think this one's going to make everyone happy. This is Real Housewives of Orange County news. I saw this on Bravo by Gaze. Alexis Bellino announces exit from the Real Housewives of Orange County. I was not asked back. Their caption, this I guess is in People because it's by Dave Quinn. It says, the reality star opened up about her exit from the Bravo franchise, saying that, well, nobody wants the rejection. It was a little bit of a relief. Okay, this is definitely an unpopular opinion, but I kind of wanted her to come back. Not because I like her, but because she's so nuts. Like, Jugs is so interesting to me because I like just the way, even at that one party where her and Shannon had their first like confrontation afterwards, she's like walking around, she's like pacing, and she's like making these weird noises, going, whoa, whoa. Like, that is, I kind of like watching when people are unhinged like that. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess we're not going to see it. And if that's the case, we better be done with Johnny J. John Jansen. Enough with Johnny J. So yay, let's all celebrate. I did want to mention House of Villains real quick because last night was a finale. I watched it, and season 1, I did like a binge. And then I actually did a review on season 1 last year. And I liked it, even though it's super corny and like, it's obviously like a production. Nothing about this show is natural in any way, but it's so funny because the cast is full of villains, reality villains from different shows. So it gives that like Traitors vibe where you're like, oh my God, we got like a mix of people. This is fun. But on top of it, it's kind of like a lower scale competition than the Traitors, because the Traitors is like such a way bigger production and is way more fun, in my opinion. But House of Villains delivered. I was a little nervous because I thought, season 1 was good, but it wasn't anything compared to the Traitors. House of Villains season 2, I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. I was pleasantly surprised. I think this season was better than season 1. Larsa, Teresa, and Monica were on the finale episode. And apparently they both hate, Larsa and Teresa do not like Monica. And Teresa even called her a rat. I was dying. But another thing about what I noticed last night that was like very noticeable to me when it comes to these reality competition shows where you have a mix of reality stars, like Traitors and House of Villains, the gamers versus the non-gamers is always a thing. And the gamers always play what I think the non-gamers would consider dirty, quote unquote dirty. But really, that's just like part of the game. And so the non-gamers, they don't understand that mentality and they take things personally. But I kind of like that about these competition shows, because when you have all gamers, it can be too intense. And I like that there's a mix of like people like Wes. Wes showed up finally. He like was kind of coasting throughout the whole season, and I don't watch the challenge anymore, but I watched the challenge like 30 years ago or 20 years ago, whatever. And he is the same person. And I just find it so interesting to see gamers versus non-gamers, because I think I might be more of a gamer than a non-gamer. And I didn't realize that until I started watching these shows. But this show is good. I highly recommend. Speaking of the Traitors, we got a trailer and a cast photo. Woohoo, my favorite show. And I want to say, okay, so in the trailer, I want to say, first off, I got an instant rush of dopamine just from hearing Alan Cummings' voice. I feel like safe when I hear his voice. Dorinda in the trailer goes, I intend to leave as queen of the castle. I really hope she delivers. I'm like so hyped for Dorinda on the Traitors. We got Sierra, who looks clocked in. Cannot wait. Chanel is like, this game is torturous. And then Sandoval has a line. He goes, finally, people are taking me seriously. Oh, please. I don't think anyone's going to take him seriously. But look at this cast. Oh, I can't wait. So January 9th is the premiere date. And I'm just warning everyone now, I will become a different animal when this show starts. But okay, let's look at this photo, because somebody put something in my head that like just got me spiraling. They were like, oh, notice who's looking at the camera in the picture versus who's looking around. And I was like, don't even. I'm going to start conspiring. I'm going to start coming up with theories. But since they said it, and this is just a short thing real quick, let's point it out. We got, let's see, Bob Harper. He's from Biggest Loser. He is not looking at the camera. Okay, that's interesting. Tom Sandoval is not looking at the camera. Interesting. This other person, I don't know who she is. I think she said she's like the best Survivor player who never won. She's in the front next to Dorinda. She's not looking at the camera. That's 3 people. And we know the Traitors usually starts with 2 or 3 Traitors. So is this a clue? Is Tom Sandoval going to be a traitor to start out? If that's the case, they need to get him out right away. I feel like if Tom Sandoval was a traitor, everyone would know immediately. He is not a good actor. Oh my God, I can't wait. Also, where's this British royal guy? This guy over here in the back row, like 3rd from the right. I thought that was Jimmy Kimmel in the trailer. I was like, wait, Jimmy Kimmel's on this? Turns out it's not Jimmy Kimmel. So yeah, I am so pumped for this. I cannot wait. Let's go to the next set of news, quote unquote news. Summer House. I got all of my Summer House info from Bravo by Gays, by the way, but they have their cast photos out and they had their trailer. So these are my notes from the trailer. 1, why is Wes there? I thought we all hated him and we don't want him back. 2, this new girl on the end over here, Lexi, She winds up hooking up with Jesse. Is that what I saw? There's also this new D bag, Emerald. He says he slept with 2 girls in the same night or something. Like, I'm already hating him. He seems like such a douche. Lindsay announces her pregnancy and mentions her baby's father. And they're like, who is he? Carl mentions he hasn't had sex in a year, and everyone is so horrified. But I would like to say we may need to normalize this because, I mean, I've been talking to a lot of single ladies where one even said she hasn't had sex in 5 years, and I almost fell off my chair. So, and then another person said 4 years. Like, this is, I think it's becoming more common to be abstinent. And I think maybe it should be like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I guess there's a little clip of Lindsay and Carl getting into it at dinner one night. I don't know what that's all. This whole thing is crazy. The fact that they're even in a house together after they tried to date, Carl dumped her, then they dated again, got engaged, then broke off the engagement, and now Lindsay's pregnant and they're in the same house together. Wild. Craig is kind of hating on Paige a little bit in the trailer. She's like, what? Should I be punished because I'm independent and successful or something like that? Paige is on one during this trailer. She also refers to Kyle as Diplo, making fun of him. That was a good one. And then we see Tom Schwartz. And he seems like he is Schwartzing hard in this trailer. So Summer House is coming February 12th. Obviously, we'll be looking out for that. What do you guys think about the cast photo? They're very beige. It's very Hamptons. I think everyone looks great. I don't really have any comments on it. I like the palette. Let's move on. Okay, we're going to go into the lineup now. Okay, we're starting with Potomac. Oh boy. This week was season 9, episode 11, Secrets of the Love Lagoon. Stacy gets some heat for her relationship with TJ. Wendy makes a grand invitation to continue her 40th festivities in Panama. Karen hosts a Love Lagoon party at her home, full of risque questions, unexpected answers, and one uninvited guest with 8 uninvited balloons. Okay. Before I get into Karen, I just wanted to share with everyone. I found a picture of Ink and Mia standing side by side. Just kidding. This is a picture of me with Ink's head on it, but I was talking to someone because I was like, oh my God, TJ is so scared of Mia. And someone was like, wouldn't you be? And I'm like, yeah, she'd probably, like, when I met her, I was at breastfeeding height. So yeah, I can't imagine. She'd probably kill me. But then I was like, oh my gosh, I have a picture side by side with her. And so I found a picture of Ink, and now we have a picture side by side. Love it. Okay, so I did a poll asking, is TJ hooking up with someone who's not Stacy? I asked on Instagram. I asked on Twitter. On Instagram, 70% said yes. This is not looking good. 11% said no. 19% said, I don't know. but that's still a lot of yeses. I mean, we still don't know for sure. How will we ever know? But that's a lot. I don't know what to think. I really don't know. I'm so confused. I can't tell. On Twitter, 82% think that TJ is hooking up with someone who's not Stacey. 6% said no, and 12% said I don't know. Oh boy. Orange Blossom said TJ is trying to get his Lifetime movie credits being on Potomac. I know, you have to wonder when, I mean, the fact that TJ is an actor, that already brings so many questions, or like, it just, you have to be on guard, I feel like, because people in that industry, a lot of them are always, they're trying to make connections, get exposure, and how do we know that he's there for Stacey? I don't know. Okay, here we go. I'm not even going to really talk about the episode because we have too much to talk about with Karen's DUI. So Queens of Bravo posted, this is on Tuesday. Karen Huger's DUI trial began today. In court, a witness testified that her car smelled like alcohol. A volunteer EMT said she refused treatment, swayed getting into the ambulance, told them to, quote unquote, fuck off. In body cam footage, an officer is overheard telling her she's hammered. So this is Tuesday. Okay. Wednesday, the footage is released and it's not good. It's really bad. I feel really bad for Karen. Like, I mean, you know what? I don't want to say I feel really bad for Karen because this is awful. The condition that Karen was in, that we can see in the body cam footage, is horrifying. And when Shannon Bedore's her DUI footage came out, I immediately had this feeling of horror, and immediately in my mind, I was like, I will never forgive Shannon Bedore, ever. I was angry. I'm like, she really could have killed somebody. But then Shannon comes on to OC and she's taking accountability. She's doing the work. She's showing, I mean, she admitted like it was such a stupid thing. And granted, I don't want to say like drinking and driving is never okay. But something about the way Shannon has gone about it has made me feel like she is actually really trying to improve her life and not make this mistake in the future. With Karen, it's way different because we didn't get any footage before we knew that she got arrested. Do we ever get a mugshot, by the way? Anyways, she was silent about the whole situation. And we can see it on the show. She's like, I'm not talking about it. You can read about it. But she's like, she's so adamant about her innocence and the people will see. And then to see this all come out, it's upsetting. I really hope that, and I did post this on social media so you can go and look at. I only posted 2 of them. There's like a lot. There's like 30 full minutes of footage, I guess. And I didn't even watch it all, but I posted a couple of them. And some people were getting mad, like, why are you posting this? Like, this is so wrong. And it's like, for one, the only reason this came out is because Karen chose to fight the charges and go to trial versus taking a plea deal. And when that happens, your punishment is usually more severe if you go to trial. And on top of that, if you go to trial, you then make the records public. And so that's why this footage is out there. And yeah, it's awful. But also, like, I feel like Karen needs a wake-up call right now. Because this is not her first offense. She has done this multiple times. And on top of it, she didn't even have a license to drive when this happened. That is not good. Who let her out like this? I mean, this is her responsibility, ultimately. But I can't, like, imagine how things went down. Like, who was she even with? Did they see her get in the car? Were they just as messed up as her and went their own way? Like, what really went down? And also, why didn't Karen stop talking once the cops showed up? She was going on like she was invincible. She kept repeating how she's Black and rich and owns a plantation, and I don't understand why she was saying that. She also said that she was Thomas Jefferson's concubine. That sent me in a spiral because I'm like, why would she say this? I don't even understand how this thought is even in her head. And apparently, I found out this is like, I don't know if this is true, but somebody told me this is like a regional flex in some area of the country. And I was like, what? And I think what Karen meant, I don't think she meant she's Thomas Jefferson's concubine because Thomas Jefferson is not alive. But I think she was referring to her being part of Thomas Jefferson's lineage through his concubine or something. I don't know, but I feel like I need to know more because, like, why is that even in her thoughts in this moment? Whew, it's wild. And she's not really that friendly to some. It's weird. She's like friendly at some points, and then she's not friendly at other points during this whole footage. It's wild. I just, like, my jaw was on the floor. I'm still processing it, I feel like, because this is a lot. Like, they didn't even film the reunion yet. Brianna said she should be let go. So, Brianna, question for you. Should anyone who gets a DUI be let go, or only if they go to jail, or if the footage gets out? Like, what extent? Billy said, is she wearing a blonde wig? I think so. Max said, this is Karen's second DUI. I thought it was her third. I don't know. Oh, let's pray for Karen Huger. Do we need a separate episode to discuss this? This is a lot. And I'm a fan of Karen too. So same with James Kennedy, while I believe firmly that she should be held accountable for her actions because this is not okay, I also am still going to root for her rehabilitation, and I hope she gets help so that this never happens again. Okay. Let's move on to Married to Medicine. Probably won't talk much about these. Okay, Married to Medicine, season 11, episode 4, Flannels and Fake Apologies. The ladies enjoy a day out on the ranch. Not my kind of trip. I'm not into outdoorsy stuff and anything cowboy related. I'm just not into it. But anyways, Heavenly and T have a saloon showdown that threatens to derail the first night. Quad tries to get Contessa and Heavenly to reconnect. Jackie tries to get to the bottom of Heavenly and Contessa's failed friendship. Toya quarrels the ladies for a Cowboy Carter photo shoot, but her diva behavior rubs the ladies the wrong way. This show is really funny. I loved Toya in this episode because she really went around to every single lady to quality check all of their looks before the photo shoot. She's like, no, we got to change this. She's like, okay, this one's okay, but change the entire color of your outfit. It was too funny. She's so hilarious. And then she talked about how she went outside and there was like a raccoon that she made eye contact with. And she was like, she didn't know what to do. She is so funny. I think she's hilarious. But also another reminder to go check out my interview with Dr. Contessa and Dr. Simone. Before we move on, let's see. Brianna said, I like cowboy, but I needed this trip to be a little more glampy. Yes, same. It was okay. They're like, oh, we get our own wagon. Like, that was okay, but I feel like it smelled weird. Like, I don't like to sleep in places that smell funny. I need like, I'm going back to Meredith Marks with her bath bomb saying, how's this smell? And Brooks Marks saying, that smells like the Four Seasons. And she's like, so do you like it? He's like, no. But I would like it, I think. Better than the smell of this wagon, I just guarantee. Oh. All right, let's move on. Below Deck Sailing Yacht, Season 5, Episode 11, Much Ado About Crushing. The primary charter guest hates the decor, but the deck team attempts to turn the experience around with a poetic performance. Diana gets closer to Chase, but Danny tries to intervene. When the guests request late-night snacks, the interior department nearly implodes. The crew night out gets wild when a hot tub party ends with an unexpected bang. I usually love a boatmance. I am not here for any of these boatmances this season. I'm actually turned off by them and I don't like them. I don't even know who's Diana and who's Danny. The season is not great. And I thought Chase was going to completely revive the season, but unfortunately, my expectations were way too high because I'm not into it still. And I feel like I keep getting more and more annoyed by this crew. They're the least interesting to watch. Sorry. Moving on. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Episode 5, High Horses and Low Blows. The sand settles after Oceanside, but the ladies return home with unresolved feelings. Garcelle enjoys her recently finished beach house. Erica navigates deep-rooted emotions with her therapist. The ladies swap their high heels for cowboy boots. Again, what's up with the cowboy shit? At Kyle's Western party, her first solo event since her separation. What do I put on the invitation? Oh my God, shut up. Bose defends Dorit when Sutton delivers some low blows, but her efforts are interrupted when old friends and past grievances resurface. Okay, biggest takeaway from this episode is how much I love Jennifer Tilly. Why hasn't she been on reality TV for the last 20 years? This woman is amazing. She has a whole real estate portfolio that she talked about. She has 2 houses next to each other. One is for parties. And her Bride of Chucky doll, I forgot what the name is, but I aspire to live the life of Jennifer Tilly's doll. Because wow. This woman is made for Housewives. I love her. Also, I loved how many times Dorit said cunt. She's on top of it this season. Oh boy. Okay. Do we want to talk about anything else? I actually quit talking about Beverly Hills, but I feel a little more comfortable these days with Dorit coming out and saying cunt. Makes me feel better. Okay, let's move on. Real Housewives of New York, Season 15, Episode 12, A Tantrum and a Truce. The Puerto Rico trip continues as the women shop and explores San Juan. Erin reveals an explicit picture of Abe to Jenna and Bryn. Erin reveals an explicit picture of Abe to Jenna and Bryn that draws criticism from others. Raquel prepares to see her mother for the first time in 6 years. I was surprised at how chill Becky is. Rebecca Minkoff, considering she's a Scientologist. Like, I don't know about her. If I didn't know she was a Scientologist, I'd probably be like, oh my God, I love her. But knowing that she's a Scientologist, like, is in the back of my head. So it's hard for me to like her. But she wasn't that bad this episode. I feel like she handled Bryn really well, and good for her. Jenna Lyon's pubic hairs look like Jessel's hair. I find that to be interesting. Poor Jessel. She's like, why am I in it? What else? Gabe. Oh my gosh. Gay Abe. Erin showed a picture of Abe's D to Jenna and Bryn, and it really wasn't that big of a deal in the moment. I feel like it became a bigger deal because of the other ladies' reactions, like Uba. Like, Uba goes from 0 to 1,000 so fast. And she just, like, it seems like she doesn't even think about what she's saying. She just goes hard. And I feel like it's so unnecessary. Like, I think obviously the weird part about it is if if Abe is comfortable with it. But I also felt like in that moment, Erin was like defending her man's honor and like, what? You're saying my man has a small D? Well, check it out. And it was a quick moment. It wasn't like, here, look at this, study it. It was just like a boom. And I think that was like not a big deal. And I feel like however, if the tables were turned and it was like a bunch of husbands talking about their wives and one's like, oh, I bet she has small tits or something. And then my husband shows a picture of my naked body, which that would never happen because those pictures aren't out there. But I'm like, that would not be okay. So I don't know. But also, I feel like men love to show their D. And I can say that based on the number of unsolicited D pics I get regularly. Okay? So, I don't know. I hope Andy asks Abe at the reunion. Oh my gosh, Billy, you like Uba? I need to know why. I'm like trying to like her. And Billy, I don't know if you know this, I posted a clip from one of my live streams where I was like, are we ever going to get housewives who don't care about what's being said on social media? Like, I don't know if we're ever going to get that in the future because, social media is alive and well. And guess who responded to that? Uba. Uba responded and was like, you try going on a show and we'll judge you. And I'm like, oh my God, she just proved my point. So ever since then, I'm like, I can't. Like, I'm trying, Uba, but you're really making it difficult for me. So I don't know. I'll keep trying, I guess. Let's move on to my favorite franchise, The Real Housewives. By the way, it's my favorite and least favorite. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with this franchise. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're on season 5, episode 14. We're almost at the end of this season, by the way. This episode is called La Vida Loca. The Mexico trip continues as the ladies set sail on a yacht excursion. Lisa updates the group on life with John and Henry. Brittany takes offense at the lack of enthusiasm over her latest announcement. Bronwyn reveals some dark truths about her marriage. Are they truths? And is surprised by Heather's grace and Lisa's lack of support. She wants to ride Lisa's dick. Mary arrives and the ladies come together for a beautiful Vita dinner where Meredith learns her late night antics have fueled Brittany with fresh gossip. Angie and Bronwyn confront Lisa at dinner, causing a dramatic conclusion to the evening. So, like I said earlier, we do a Patreon episode for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City so that we can speak in a safe and uncensored space without being attacked, especially in season 5, because, and remember, I've been covering this show since season 1. I have never seen this type of hostile and toxic cyber activity on social media until this season. Why is that? One can only wonder. I'll tell you why. You guys know why. Smells like dog poo. Anyways, so we'll cover the whole episode. One thing I did want to mention that I thought was interesting, Lisa Barlow posted a partnership with Kerastase. And I find this interesting because Brittany said she has a partnership in the making when she was on Watch What Happens Live, but we haven't seen anything yet. So what is going to happen there? And is Brittany mad at Lisa for getting there first with Kerastase? Because I wouldn't mind like this kind of petty stuff. I like when they argue about that kind of stuff. I think it's funny. But I don't like when it gets too dark and too serious. Like Meredith crying in her room over slut shaming. That is hilarious because she said it with a straight face as if she was serious. Very similar to when they went to that ropes course and Meredith didn't participate because she said she had tennis elbow from churning too much butter. And she said it with a straight face and no one questioned her. And I was dying laughing because I don't think that's true. And I want to know, is there some other reason why Meredith didn't participate that day? And why was Meredith crying in her room? She claims she wasn't crying. Oh, no, she claims she didn't throw up. She claims she was only crying, but Brittany kept bringing it up. And this, I think, is going to be Brittany's downfall because Meredith had Brittany's back all season, but for some reason, Brittany makes a decision to turn on Meredith, I guess, and keeps bringing up that Meredith was throwing up or something. Like, she probably was. She was probably fucked up and like hungover. Did you see her on the boat the next day? She could barely get on the sidewalk with those heels. Angie had to come and help her. By the way, I love Meredith. I think she's so funny when she gets activated. The way she's like, I was upset about the slut shaming and I cried. Her face, she looked at Brittany like, yeah, I did cry. Like, what are you going to do? Oh my gosh. Meredith. This is going to be good because the next episode, Meredith is activated. And I think it's Brittany. I think she's yelling at Brittany. She goes, you record your friends. I'm disgusted. I've had enough of you. I love when Meredith gets that voice. Max said Meredith had a hangover, right? Orange Blossom. The girls are saying Bronwyn lied about the infidelity. I'm so glad Lisa did not fall for that. We're going to get there. Yes. On this episode, on the yacht, we saw the trailers for this scene. Bronwyn. Oh, by the way, real quick, if you're on Instagram, come over to YouTube because the Instagram live is going to end because we're approaching 1 hour. So Come join us on YouTube. Anyways, okay, Bronwyn. She said on the yacht, first of all, they're talking about Lisa and Henry adjusting to Jack being gone and whatever. And she's talking about how she's like, it was hard, but she's proud and things are getting better. And it was like a very sweet moment that felt very organic, right? Brittany takes it upon herself to add on to that or segue into how she feels like nobody had her back or supported her when she was talking about her daughter sleeping over. And even though this moment was about Lisa, it's somehow the whole situation with Brittany still somehow seemed organic for her to interrupt and make it about herself, because that seems to be on brand for her. But then Bronwyn jumps in. Bronwyn takes it upon herself to jump into the conversation and throw a dig at Brittany and say, are you happy that, I don't know what she said. She said something nasty. It was like, are you happy that she slept over? Are you happy that you get to tell us she slept over? Something real bitchy, right? And Brittany's like, fuck you, Bronwyn. You're a bitch. You're a fucking bitch, Bronwyn. And I'm glad that Brittany said that, because she was being a fucking bitch. And then somehow Bronwyn, even though she's the one who jumps in and is acting like a bitch to Brittany, somehow starts screaming at the top of her lungs like, I've been called a gold digger. No one called her a gold digger. I've been called a trophy wife. Nobody literally called you a trophy wife. Then she goes on to say, I've been this and everyone says this. Nobody's talking about you, bitch. Nobody cares. That's why you're making this crazy ass scene, because nobody gives a shit. And she goes on to make up lies, which is on brand for her. She says, oh, if anyone cared to get to know me, they'd know about the infidelity in my marriage. This bitch went on Watch What Happens Live. Todd is sitting in the front row, and she says, well, there was no actual physical infidelity. I bet you this is what I'm predicting from my witch powers that I've already established and proved to you all that I have. I think what happened is Todd was on his iPad, maybe liked someone's Facebook post by accident because he doesn't even know what he's doing, or maybe someone sent him something in Facebook Messenger and he like was so excited that somebody messaged him and was like, he opened it, and Gwen sees this. I bet you if Gwen talked about it, she'd probably be like, it was like nothing. But Bronwyn will take any opportunity to paint herself with this narrative that she's a victim of something. And in this case, she's not. She like, and then she even convinced Todd not to watch the episode where she says she calls him out for infidelity. That is crazy to me. You better believe if my spouse is saying, say there's infidelity in our marriage on national television, I'm going to fucking watch that shit. Okay. So how did she even convince him not to watch this? Because if he watches everything, I think he's going to see a different Bronwyn than what he knows. Because I think she is living a maybe triple life. One with Todd, one in media on the show and on social media. Actually, no, I'm going to consider that two separate lives. She has one on the show, and then she has a separate life online on social media where she cyber stalks people, she buys bots, and she attacks people and has all these like fake comments whenever things don't go her way. It's insane. And don't forget that she had Bravo take out footage from the after show. Okay, what does that say? That is like, that shows a need for control. And the way she talks and smiles on Watch What Happens, I'm like, I'm the good girl. I don't do anything wrong. I could see through that shit. Don't even try. Don't even try. Billy said, God, I hate her. Yeah, I'm not feeling Bronwyn, said Brianna. Billy said, I hope she's fired for next season. You know what? I am not even going to wish that upon her. Let her come back. Let her show her fucking dirty ass because she is crazy. Like, she's manipulating the entire audience because she probably also knows that not everyone watch What Happens Live. So she put out to this bigger audience that Todd cheated on her, but then backtracks on Watch What Happens Live. We're going to go into the next episode with the majority of the audience thinking that Todd cheated on her. And she knows what she's doing. She is making Todd look so bad. People are even speculating that, oh, she took it back because she's scared of Todd and Todd was in the front or in the audience of Watch What Happens Live. I think it's the opposite. I think that she's taking it back to cover her ass because she knows if Todd finds out the truth, he's going to know she's a fucking liar. Like, is this elder abuse? Do we need to do something? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do anything. Let's see. Orange Blossom said Bronwyn was just nasty to Britt. Oh my God. Bronwyn doesn't care about Brittany's daughters. Bronwyn said that to be snarky. 100%. Bronwyn will throw out some bitchy comment when no one's even talking to her just to like distract, make the person look bad and distract the attention onto herself so she can throw out these wild accusations so people will feel bad for her. Like, and another thing, people are like, oh my God, Lisa Meredith, you're awful. You weren't supporting her. What do you want them to do? Like, this is so crazy that Bronwyn, nobody asked her about Todd. No one asked her about infidelity. She made a point to bring this onto camera and say that. She's trying to plant like seeds of storylines for the future. And you know what? Let them grow. Let them grow into a second season and we will all see. And everyone can apologize to me. Billy said, if they can fire Monica for a silly Instagram account, why can't we fire other people? Right? It blows my mind that the majority of the audience are Team Bronwyn fans. Yo, I think so. On Watch What Happens Live this week, they did a question: whose side are you on, Lisa or Bronwyn's? And it was like 92% on Bronwyn. I think she paid for those votes, like, or she really has a lot of people fooled, and that's scary to me. Like, ugh, what's wrong with you people? Like, hello, just listen to the words she's saying. Actually, you know what? This is a good segue. So somebody sent me this. This is a podcast from Jamie Stein, Deep Dive with Jamie Stein. He does a whole solo episode on Bronwyn. And he goes through and takes specific examples and lays it all out for you so that people can understand what it is that she is actually doing. Like, she is confusing people by twisting words, and the things that she says don't even make sense. Her grammar is awful. Like, when she talks, or if she answers a question, I still don't know what the answer is because she just talks in circles. She speaks out of both ends of her mouth, or what do they say? Speaking out of whatever. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. Brianna said her fashions are also horrible. She's so insecure. No, for real. And like, one thing she does that she is good at that people fall for, which I'm surprised, like, it's wild to me, but she will like confess, quote unquote, confess to something that's not that great about her. Like, oh my God, my life is so hard. And like, that gives the appearance and the perception to people who are like in the moment, who can't like sit back and really digest what just happened. People like Angie and Whitney, when they're in the moment, they can't see all the other stuff that she's done. And she's able to convince them like, oh, she's really genuine. Because who would expose themselves and be so vulnerable in that way? Like, she's actually not. It's very, very calculated. Excuse me. Billy said she's aggressive, rude, and obnoxious. And she's dirty. In that hot dog costume before they went to the drag show, she was walking on the sidewalk with no shoes in a hot dog couture costume. Huh. Gross. And then at her house, she walks around barefoot where there's piles of shit lying all over the place. I don't care how much money she wastes on these couture fashions. They probably all have dog shit on them. So just keep that in mind. I didn't think I was going to be this unhinged today, but I kind of like it. Oh my gosh, so many comments about Broadway. I can't. We gotta move on though, because there's still so much to cover. Oh, so in regards to Jamie Stein's podcast episode, I said this is spot on about Poopwin. I said this before and I'll say it again. Anyone with critical thinking skills can see through her charade covered in dog shit. Fabricating infidelity by your elderly husband only to backtrack on Watch What Happens Live and make sure he does not watch the show should be a huge red flag to viewers. Is this not like, I feel like she is, this actually, you know what? This relationship reminds me of some father-daughter relationships where the father is like a single dad and he will just give the daughter whatever she wants to like be the cool parent or whatever. Like it feels like this kind of. And like now when she's about to get caught, she's like, she's got to cover her tracks and he's old and like this is the kind of shit that I'm laughing because I'm like, this is the kind of shit that like a teenager would have done to their parents back in the day. Like, oh, don't watch this. Like, just trust me. Like, I am a good person. This is what she's doing. It's so wild. Oh my God. Amen to that tweet. Bronwyn spins the truth and destroy. Bad weather. Spin the truth. Destroy. She lied on Brittany about Broadway. Yep. She lies so bad. She lied about me. And that's why I am heated. People are like, oh my God, why are you so mad? Like she literally lied about me. That is a trigger for me. If I said something, I will be just like Brittany and be like, yes, I did say that. But when you put words in my mouth and I didn't say something you said I said, I am going to not be happy about it. Okay, let's move on. I like, who does this? Who plants a fake infidelity story about your husband? So weird. There's more about that beef on a bonus episode that's available for everyone. So you can go check that out. The link is in the bio. And then there's a follow-up that has receipts, proof timeline, screenshots of how she truly is a fraud win. And why did fraud win trigger her so bad? I'm not the only one who comments on these shows, but for some reason, she is focused on my content. And I think it's giving fan behavior. It's okay. You could be my fan, Bronwyn. Like I said, go check that out on Patreon. Moving on, I didn't watch this Sold on SLC episode because Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is just way too important. But I'm going to read it anyways. Okay, so Sold on SLC Season 1, Episode 3, Thou Shalt Turn Thy Page. At the Snow Forest Brokers Open, Jennifer comes face to face with her former agent and arch nemesis. I love arch nemesis. I can't believe they wrote that in here. Paige. And refuses to back down. Matt juggles his duties as a realtor and a dad when his wife, Nicole, goes on a business trip. Malaysia hosts a lively Cinco de Mayo fiesta, but things take a turn when rumors of an agent's private transgressions threaten to take down their perfect facade. I actually am going to go watch this sometime this weekend because I'm just like fascinated by anything that comes out of Utah. It's like a different planet. So wild. What was I going to say though? Wait. they mentioned Cinco de Mayo. That made me think of Diddy. So this is totally unrelated, but I just want to remind everyone that Diddy's trial date begins on Cinco de Mayo 2025. This is an important date because this is also the day of the Met Gala, where LeBron James, who, if you've seen it, go in my stories on Instagram, everything's up there. There are pictures of LeBron in like a maid's costume. There's this whole conspiracy around it that he's involved with Diddy. And I just cannot believe, like, we got Jay-Z who's supposed to perform at the Super Bowl. He's getting like called out now. We have until Cinco de Mayo for more people to go down. And I just like, should we try to go to the Met Gala? Like, I feel like that day is going to be nuts. Okay. Anyways, let's move on. Last show that we're going to talk about. Oh, Southern Charm, my favorite foe. Season 10, episode 3, Gone to the Dogs. JT pens an apology to Miss Patricia. The group celebrates at a doggy Parton theme celebration. Shep debuts his new girlfriend. Taylor faces off with a flame from her boyfriend's past. Austin starts to question his relationship with Craig. Oh, man. I think I want to share my tweets for this. Hold up. Let me bring them up. Give me a second. Shouldn't take long. Add to stage. Oh, boy. I have to scroll through the Karen Huger footage. Okay. Also, I left my reel from yesterday. Okay. So one thing I noticed already, and I already knew this about Shep, but like you can really see it in this season. Shep is so creepy when he likes someone. And that makes me feel bad for him in a way, even though like I hate watch the show, but I hate watch it because I want the best for all these people. I want them to do better. So when they don't, I get kind of irritated. But Shep is one that I've been up and down with. There's been times where I'm like, oh my God, Shep, yes, you are the best guy on this show. And then other times I'm like, somebody call 911. We need to send him to inpatient therapy. So I go back and forth, and I feel like in a weird way, like I feel like I could treat him the way I treat my brother and be like totally honest and just tell him like, oh my God, you're being a creep. Like chill the fuck out. You're going to scare this girl away and you clearly like her. So just chill. Be cool. Don't be all like uncool. Weirdo. He's totally going to scare her away. I think he already did. Madison said in an interview last week, like, I don't know why people get mad at me. Like, I wasn't born with money being sent to my mailbox. And I think that was a dig on, obviously, like all the men on the show, Shep being one of them. But since we know that Shep has had money sent to his mailbox ever since he was born, I feel strongly that he needs to get a stylist because this blue camo shirt is offensive. I just hated it. I'm like, Shep, you can do way better. Why don't you? There also was a scene where he took a shower and then gets out and he's talking to his girlfriend on FaceTime or video, whatever. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He literally gets ready and the amount of time it takes me to like put on my eyeliner. Like, you have so much extra time, Shep. I need you to take it up a notch because his wants, his expectations based on his relationships in the past with like Taylor saying, oh, she's not very driven or motivated. Like, bitch, you're not driven or motivated. So show up and then we will root for you more because then it's like, okay, he's putting in effort. But Shep hardly puts in effort. And I think he knows this about himself. He actually is very smart. I think Shep knows everything that's wrong with him already. But I think he is very resistant to facing it head on. However, we're seeing a little bit in this season where he's trying to communicate with Craig and Austin. And it's kind of sad because I don't think he's getting what he wanted from them, which is part of growing up. So it's okay. He'll be okay. But it is sad because it feels like we're watching a child emotionally develop for the first time. And he did say in Watch What Happens Live last night that vulnerability is a new masculinity. And he got me with that one because it's true. Like, I like that. I need this Shep to continue. And we've seen this Shep before, which is why I'm like hesitant to be all in and be like, yeah, let's go Shep, because I don't want to be let down by him again. And we're not even going to talk about my experience with him at BravoCon. He probably doesn't even remember. So there's a scene where Austin and Shep are bitching about Craig. And this is a perfect example of them, again, just like not wanting to grow up and take the next step. And it's so annoying because Craig is doing the work. He's taking the next step. He's growing. He's improving. He's moving on. Shep and Austin are stuck. And they're like mad at Craig for this. And it's so stupid. Like, grow the fuck up. Join him. Do your own thing. Have a house with a pool and a leaf blower where you go around manicuring your lawn because your girlfriend is visiting. Come on, get it together. The apology note from JT, I thought was nice. I don't dislike JT like a lot of people. I don't want to say I like JT because I don't know him that well, but like I am rooting for him because I feel like he's the first guy who's come onto this show who's actually stood up for women and stood up for a modern approach to proper behavior in the South, considering that things have changed a lot. People have rights, women included. So I felt like JT was able to like be that opposition of what we've seen in the past on Southern Charm with these other guys who are F-boys and like misogynists and all that stuff. So I was rooting for him, but then like the first episode, when he started comparing polka dots with Madison and Austin, I'm like, I am concerned. I don't know what exactly happened with this accident, but I feel like it may have affected him in his thought process. I don't know. But how rude are Patricia and Whitney? I know everyone loves Patricia, but I love Madison. I know she'll stick up for Patricia, but like, I don't like Patricia. I think she is part of the problem because Whitney is her son. Whitney is the executive producer. He allows this shit to happen on TV. He's spreading this behavior as if it's okay. And I have a problem with that. Even the way that, JT apologized in a handwritten note. That is a very nice gesture, which she did try. So she gave like a little bit of a compliment to JT. But when Patricia is mad, you could do the nicest things to her and she does not care. And she will just be like, run along and treat you like a peasant. And I don't like that. I think that is a major part of the problem. And she enables Whitney. They're both in denial of who Whitney really is and wants in his life, clearly. But I just thought they were so rude. They're like, inclusion. They were like making fun of JT for using the word inclusion as if that's a bad thing. And he's, what does that even mean? Whitney, really? You don't know what inclusion means? Come here. I will tell you. Okay. I'm not really going to do anything to Whitney, by the way. Shep is one of those people who puts the accent on croissant, which is so annoying because, like, we know that French people pronounce it croissant, but we are not French. We are American. And I saw this reel where this guy was like, we know that it's croissant, but just like, we don't expect you to say McDonald's when you're saying, oh, we're going to go to McDonald's. We don't expect you to stop and say, oh, we're going to go to McDonald's. It's just, after that reel, like, I feel so much better about my rule of thumb. Like, at first I was like, it depends on the audience, but now I'm like, you know what? No, this is how I speak. I don't, whatever. Let's move on. I just like, oh my God, he annoys me. Shep annoys me. But we got more of Rodrigo, and I already love Rodrigo. I think he's funny. Like, you have to go follow him on Instagram because his Instagram stories are hilarious. But I love how he's like, everyone asks us if we're gonna have kids someday, and I'm just like, no. And I love that we have someone normalizing not having children. So good on him. We also get a little bit of Gaston, and he doesn't want to hang out with Shep. I don't blame him. Shep does not say good things about Gaston. We've only heard good things about him from Taylor, but Taylor also said good things about Shep. So I don't know. How do we feel about Gaston? I feel like he's probably a good guy, but why did Shep say, all the analysts say, don't buy? And we also have Sally coming in hot. And I don't know if you all remember this, but she was on Southern Hospitality. And if you go back to, I think it was season two, she was dating Joe Bradley, but TJ told Joe Bradley that she was just at his house because he used to be roommates with Gaston, and said she was just making out with my roommate. And then Joe Bradley confronted Sally and was like, you made out with me and you made out with him in the same day? That's like psychopath behavior. I forgot if he said sociopath or psychopath, but I was like, oh my God, Joe Bradley is the best. And I thought it was interesting because Sally worked at Republic. And I'm like, I thought Levitt told Joe Bradley not to date anyone who works at Republic. So that's just what I remember. But apparently I heard that she was also on The Bachelor. I don't know. She is coming in hot and she hates Gaston. I need to know more. Should we ask TJ? Madison always looks like a Barbie doll. Freaking love her. She shows up to this party looking fantastic as always, but she's funny. She called Taylor. She goes, Taylor looks like Brett Michael. Poor Taylor. And then at the end of this episode, we see Madison confront JT, and Madison is Madison, and I don't hate her for it. She tore into JT, which I knew she would, and he took it. He actually took it like a champ. I actually was kind of impressed. He didn't like act like a little bitch boy. He just was like, oh, okay. And he let her get it out. He did say something in the end that I was like, oh, you probably shouldn't have said that. But overall, like, I don't think JT did anything bad. He didn't call Patricia a bitch, even though she is. But whoops. Oh no. The Madison thing, like, it's not a big deal. I feel like he could just say sorry and move on. I mean, look at Madison and Austin where they used to be, and now they're like buddies. It's kind of weird. But also, don't forget, JT made an announcement about a month ago or something saying that he quit Southern Charm. They had some confessionals still left for the season to record, but he like skipped out on some. But rumor has it he filmed another one, so he might be back and he might be at the reunion. We will see. I hope he does. Schlep was on Watch What Happens Live with Molly. Love Molly. Like I said, Schlep, he is growing on me again. He's showing some reform, and I'm here for that. His top 5 list of things he's learned from reality TV, I wish I wrote them down because they were all really good. But he impressed me, which he does from time to time. But then Andy asked about the ayahuasca, and he was like, "Did you poop yourself?" And Shep goes, "Not in my pants." And I was just like, "Oh my God." Yeah, I think that's all I have for Southern Charm. This show is pretty good. I can't deny it. Okay. Wow, we're going on an hour and 30. I don't know if we're going to be here next week because at first I heard that they were going to air Real Housewives of Salt Lake City even through the holidays, and I was really excited about that, but then I heard later on that they are not. So I don't know when the next episode is, but before I go, I want to make sure I remind you all to subscribe, follow, share, like, leave a comment and 5-star rating for Bravo and Blaze on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow on social media at Bravo and Blaze. Check out new episodes of Bravo and Blaze every Friday and Patreon on Mondays, but also keep your eye out for bonus episodes. Like I said, I'm not sure if Bravo is airing new shows during the week of Christmas and New Year's. So this might be our last show of the year. I don't know, but either way, I want to wish you all happy holidays, a happy new year, and let's hope we don't have to learn any more new laws or legal terms over the holiday break due to our Bravo Labs. But I may have something in store for you. I have to see how it works out with my schedule. So stay tuned. And obviously, always stay in contact and in touch with us on social media. Until next time, stay lit, y'all.